Welcome back to Rare Coin Gallery, where every coin has a secret, every design hides a story, and every collector knows that real treasure doesn't come from gold mines. It comes from the change in your own pocket. Every coin you touch has traveled farther than you'll ever know, passed from one hand to another, through generations, through moments of history. Some bought coffee, some sat forgotten in drawers, and others ended up in collections that now tell the story of America itself. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of four extraordinary U.S. quarters: Maryland, South Carolina, Alabama, and Wyoming. They may seem like everyday coins, but behind each one lies a story of courage, craftsmanship, and culture. Coins like these remind us that history is never truly gone. It's just waiting to be rediscovered in your spare change. The Maryland Quarter, minted in the year 2000, stands as one of the most elegant designs in the state quarter program. At its center is the dome of the Maryland State House, a structure that holds a special place in American history. Construction began in 1772, and by the time the Revolutionary War broke out, it became a symbol of unity and independence. It's the very building where George Washington resigned his military commission in 1783, stepping down voluntarily from power, a defining moment in democracy. Above that dome, engraved with care, is the pride of a state that stood firm in America's earliest battles for freedom. Encircling the dome are two branches of the white oak, Maryland's state tree. They symbolize strength and resilience, values that have defined Maryland through centuries of change. Beneath, the words "The Old Line State" honor the Maryland Line soldiers, whose discipline and endurance during the Revolutionary War became legendary. Each part of the design tells a story of courage, endurance, and state pride. When the Maryland Quarter entered circulation, few people paid it much attention. The State Quarters program had already sparked excitement across the country, and many saw it as just another design in a growing collection. But collectors who looked closer saw something deeper. The simplicity of the dome, the precision of the branches, the symbolism of the inscription, all gave the coin a quiet dignity. As time passed, small minting errors began to appear. On some coins, collectors noticed hairline cracks across the dome or subtle doubling on the letters Maryland and the Old Line State. Others found tiny raised lines near the rim or faint die breaks that added unique texture. These imperfections, once thought of as flaws, became marks of identity, turning ordinary quarters into sought-after rarities. High-grade Maryland quarters, particularly those graded MS-67 or MS-68 by PCGS and NGC, can command impressive prices. A coin with flawless luster, sharp details, and no visible contact marks can fetch hundreds, and certain rare error examples have sold for over $1,000. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint, with mirror-like finishes, have also gained steady demand among serious collectors. Today, as collectors revisit the early 2000s, the Maryland Quarter has found new life. Its historical depth and symbolic design make it not just a coin, but a piece of enduring American pride. Like the soldiers it honors, it has stood firm through time, a coin that quietly connects past and present. The South Carolina Quarter, also released in 2000, tells a different kind of story, one of culture, resilience, and unity. The moment you look at it, you see a rich design full of meaning. The proud palmetto tree at its center, the lively Carolina wren perched nearby, the bright yellow jessamine flower blooming beside it, and the outline of the state in the background. Each element represents the beauty and character of South Carolina, but the palmetto tree carries the deepest meaning. During the Revolutionary War, in the defense of Fort Moultrie, British cannonballs struck the fort's walls, made from soft palmetto logs. Instead of shattering, the logs absorbed the impact, saving the fort and its defenders. That story of defiance and survival became a lasting symbol of South Carolina's strength. When this quarter was first released, it seemed too common to be special. The mint struck hundreds of millions, flooding circulation. But collectors soon learned that quantity doesn't guarantee availability in pristine form. Coins that entered daily use quickly became scratched, tarnished, or worn down. Finding one in flawless, untouched condition became surprisingly difficult. Over time, error varieties began to surface, doubling on the lettering, raised metal along the outline of the map, and tiny die chips near the palmetto tree. A few showed raised metal trails across the bird's wings, giving them an almost lifelike texture. These small differences transformed the ordinary into the exceptional. In recent years, South Carolina quarters graded MS-68 have consistently sold for between $500 and $1,000, while rare error examples have fetched up to $1,800. Every so often, a new variety is discovered, reigniting interest. And when a video about one of these coins goes viral, thousands of new collectors rush to search their change, hoping to find one. This renewed excitement shows that the spirit of collecting is alive and well. Even in an age of digital money, the thrill of finding real treasure in your pocket remains unmatched. The South Carolina quarter is proof that modern coins still carry historical weight, blending story, artistry, and value. The Alabama quarter, released in 2003, holds an emotional place in American coinage. It honors Helen Keller, the first deafblind person to earn a college degree and one of the most inspiring figures in U.S. history. The coin portrays Keller seated, reading a Braille book, surrounded by branches of the southern longleaf pine. Above her name, for the first time in U.S. mint history, her name appears in Braille, a groundbreaking gesture of inclusion and accessibility. Beneath her image reads the phrase, "Spirit of Courage." The story of this coin reaches beyond metal. It represents the triumph of the human spirit, the determination to overcome obstacles and bring light to others. Helen Keller's life was a journey of strength, education, and compassion. The coin reflects all of that. Collectors immediately recognized its importance. The design was unique, the symbolism powerful, and the message timeless. Beyond its emotional significance, it became an investment favorite. Coins struck at the Denver Mint, marked with a small d, are especially valued for their sharp strike and clean detail. An Alabama quarter graded MS-68 can sell for $600 to $900, and error versions, such as struck through grease or die clash varieties, can bring over $1,000. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast are highly sought after in complete state quarter sets. The coin has also become popular among educators and accessibility advocates, symbolizing how design can reflect human achievement. Every time a collector holds this coin, it's a reminder that courage is not always loud. Sometimes, it's quiet determination etched into the smallest details. The Alabama quarter is more than a collector's piece. It's a coin that carries a message of hope. The Wyoming quarter, released in 2007, is striking in its simplicity. It shows a cowboy riding a bucking horse with the inscription, "The Equality State." Some called it plain, but the design's strength lies in its minimalism. It perfectly captures the wide, open landscape and rugged independence of Wyoming. The nickname, "The Equality State," is a proud one. Wyoming was the first state to grant women the right to vote, long before it became federal law. This coin gained worldwide fame when collectors discovered an unusual error. On some 2007 D Wyoming quarters, a small die gouge appeared under the horse, creating the illusion of an extra leg or a streak of metal beneath the figure. What began as a simple minting accident became legendary. Collectors nicknamed it the "extra leg" or "pooping horse" error, and it became one of the most discussed coins in modern U.S. history. The story spread quickly. News outlets, blogs, and YouTube videos fueled the excitement. People began checking their jars, their pockets, and their vending machine change. The thrill of discovery was back, and the Wyoming quarter was at its center. High-grade examples of the error coin have sold for $1,500 to $2,500, and even circulated ones with visible flaws have brought $300 to $500. This coin symbolizes how mistakes can become masterpieces. What was once considered a defect is now one of the most collectible modern quarters, representing the unpredictable magic of minting. Over the past 2 decades, the entire coin market has changed. Older collectors used to focus mainly on silver coins, Morgans, Mercury dimes, and wheat pennies. But now, modern coins from the State Quarter and America the Beautiful series have taken the spotlight. These are the coins today's generation grew up with, tangible reminders of childhood collections, coin folders, and memories of searching through pocket change. As people revisit the coins of their youth, prices rise. Modern coins in perfect condition, especially those graded by PCGS or NGC, are in high demand. Auction records climb every year, and grading submissions continue to grow. Social media platforms have turned numismatics into a global conversation. A single viral video can spark a wave of collecting that crosses continents. Technology has also made the hobby more accessible. Collectors can now research values instantly, verify authenticity, and participate in live auctions from their phones. The combination of nostalgia, knowledge, and convenience has created a new golden era of modern coin collecting. The Maryland, South Carolina, Alabama, and Wyoming quarters each tell a different story of endurance, resilience, courage, and equality. Together, they reflect the journey of a nation and the beauty of its diversity. What began as a government program to celebrate state pride has evolved into a legacy of art and history in metal. So, the next time you handle your change, pause for a moment. That quarter in your hand might not be just a piece of currency. It might be a fragment of history, a reflection of bravery, heritage, and progress. It might even be worth far more than you imagine. If you're lucky enough to find one in perfect condition, or with an error that sets it apart, don't let it slip away. Protect it, get it graded, and hold on to it. Because some coins aren't just collectibles, they're living stories of a nation's journey. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of 4 quarters that prove history lives in the smallest details. This is Rare Coin Gallery, where we uncover the stories, secrets, and values behind every coin that carries America's legacy. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Your next treasure could be waiting right in your pocket. Remember, every coin has a story, every collector has a dream, and together, we keep history alive, one coin at a time.